Icebox came out and people didn't like that. And then Breeze came out and people didn't like that even more. So now Ascent has been the staple of many best of ones as well as best of threes because of how easy it is to rehearse. It has that familiar feel to plenty of CSGO maps, which is, of course, where most of our free agent players come from, the backgrounds in Overwatch as well as Counter-Strike Global Offensive. And it's going to be an exciting map to be sure. So we're going to go ahead, get right into Agent Select. And Nico, what do you expect when it comes to the agent selection?
Well, a sense, there's a lot of loadouts that you definitely see right away. We can see the Sova locking in as well. And I'm also looking forward to seeing a Killjoy, but I see C9 Renz has actually locked in a KO, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, Double Initiator has been popping off recently on Haven, and it's leaked in towards other maps. We're seeing it out of Cloud9 Academy, as you say. I was expecting Sky to be that second initiator, but KO is still pretty interesting. The knife allows for a lot of information, especially because it sees through walls in the way that Sova Dart does not. And also that grenade, the fragment, is just so amazing at clearing out corners and forcing people to swing you or die.
Definitely. And something I also want to pick out here is how Urka on C9 actually opted to go for the Cypher instead of a Killjoy. So I'm looking forward to see how these two Sentinels are actually going to clash with one another.
Absolutely. I'm hoping that Urka brings out a couple of one-ways, what Cypher is known for with the cyber cages.
Oh, yes.
And then playing off the trips, I wonder if he's going to try to anchor a site alone or work with someone to play off the traps aggressively. Because what really makes or breaks a Sentinel player, right, is not just them being able to play behind their utility, but coordinate attacks with their utility to even press forward and take space early, especially on the defense, right? We see a lot of lower tier free agent teams. They sit on their site. They don't want to take territory, and thus they lose information. You know that these two teams are very well known in the free agent scene. Neither of them are passive, and they don't want to let anything go for free.
Definitely. I could not have said it better myself. This is going to be a tough matchup here. We're going to see a lot of tug-of-warring between these two teams, and I am so excited here as we hop into the very, very first round with C9 starting off on defense, I believe.
That's correct. So Cloud9, they're going to get these first setups going. We're going to see how they line up. We were wondering how Cypher was going to get all of his utility placed down on that mini map, so we're going to watch that. But for the case of 303 esports, Nico, they're all the way majority associated at A. They're just leaving a lone Killjoy to keep information on the B side to make sure nobody pushes out.
Yeah, I do think, when you're playing a Sentinel, you either have to bet it's a 50-50, are they going to push A or going to push B? And unfortunately, C9 Urka didn't pick right here, as we're going to see 303 do a huge A rush through A main here. Instinct is trying to fire a shock dot in there, trying to do some damage. And we can see as the 303 esports team starts to sort of aggress through A main, picking up the alt orb and feeling out C9.
Yeah, so they take that early territory to poke at C9, see if they're going to release any early utility, but it doesn't happen. Glyph jiggles out catwalk, sees that the turret is hopped up over there at the wall by tunnels, by tiles, and just walks away. They get a little bit of chip damage on him, and now we see 303 esports moving forward, trying to pressure the catwalk. Here comes the Trailblazer first, Nico.
Yeah, the Trailblazer is going to come in there. I don't know if it's actually going to spot anybody out, and now Luz placing down all that Astra utilities. Actually getting a little bit of a fight here, and a good flick from him with the Frenzy down to 7 bullets. He is going to clear out Wine, and he's going to get the frag on Instinct anyways, and the spike's going to go down. Now down to a 4v3 situation. A retake from C9 here is going to have to come in. Now down to a 2v3. We can see C9 Poise just trying to do damage. Unfortunately, going to get blinded by the guiding light, but Urka as well coming up clutches. Two players try to push heaven, and C9 winning a 2v3 retake. My gosh, I thought 303 had that in the bag. I'm not going to lie to you, Ash.
Well, what are you going to do against the former #1? C9 Poise, #1 Radiant, previous seasons, just really racking up that RR. And they're showing their mechanical skill here. The individual skill gets to flare out in those kinds of situations as the numbers get whittled down. But of course, yeah, you are right. 303 had the advantage. They had the spike down, and I think it was just unfortunate that the door was closed, and so Hawk left themselves alone on site. Lou was in a great position. They did get the first 2 kills, clearing out A main, but it really just comes down to that door being shut in the face of the planter. We're moving into round 2, and it looks like we're going for mid control. That's what 303 esports wants, Nico.
And we could see C9 here pulling out the big Spectres, so this could be a potentially quite easy round for them to win, unless 303 somehow brings out a really good clutch. And Poise swinging in there, automatically picking off Greed, and Instinct going to take out Nuke Profit as well, already taking off the Duelists with the Shock Dart coming through as well. And this is a very quick cleanup from C9 as they decide to push through mid, leaving Lou all by himself, planning the spike. The classic 100 HP. My goodness, this is going to be a bit of a tall order for him as everyone decides to rush him, and C9 pulling out a flawless in the second round. My gosh.
They got that anti-eco, they got the force up, whatever you want to call it, and they move forward into round 3. Now they get to bonus, and this is a really important round. Lower, again, I want to talk about the contrast from lower tier to higher tier teams, and that we see a lot of lower ranked teams just give up this round. They are impatient with it. But Cloud9 Academy, they know that they have money. You see immediately Poise goes for the operator buy after keeping a very tight rope on their economy. They get to pull out 4,700 credits. They have full armor. They get to control mid essentially for free because they have the tailwind to get away, and that enables the rest of C9 Academy to play very defensive and use Spectres to where they're most advantaged, the mid-range.
Definitely. And we can see here a lot of bonuses, usually expectingly like in potentially like lower ranks with people with like some lower mentality. C9 would be fully expected to lose this round, but we can see Poise is actually investing in the operator. So C9 has full intentions to win this second round, and they could potentially do it now with this advantage. Ren's automatically picking off Nuke Profit. Poise in mid here, we can try to see he's trying to bait out the Astra in tiles, but it doesn't look like she is going to give Poise any room to move around. And we can see a much slower start here for 303. I definitely think that they're trying to use these rifles to their advantage, so not a lot of action so far, but the KO knife is going to come out here with the molly as well, and Greed's going to have to back off, but as he does push KO to quite low HP. And now 303 looking like they want to maybe rotate over to A and stay in tiles, but Poise is ready, and he flicks onto Hawk. 2 more to go, and this is not looking good for 303. Poise does, I believe, actually get a little bit of a dink on him, and the Blade Storm's going to come out as well, but Lou's going to deal with that, and the Shock Dart taking Lou down to 7 HP as the rest of C9 cleans up. A third round going into their favor.
And we see that operator pay dividends. It's a third round secure, and that burns through 303 esports' economy. Just look at what they've got left. Their choices are limited. We see Sheriffs and Buckies. Nuke Profit, actually very interesting choice. Probably going for the dash and shoot type of situation, getting into people's faces for the early damage. They're very limited here. They can't navigate, and so they have to push together, hope for an early pick to pick up guns and snowball that into a possible lead, but they're going to be met with resistance. Look at how C9 is posted up, Nico.
My gosh, Renz is taking such an aggressive here, and he's actually going to be taking 2. He's going to take 3 out, and I don't think he knows that they're actually above him. Nuke Profit using that Bucky to play, but my gosh, Renz with such an amazing start there. Sometimes playing aggressive on defense plays off, or just it definitely pays off, and it definitely did there. But now 303 definitely taking it slower here. C9 Poise is taking a bit of an aggressive angle, and it's actually going to punish him as Nuke Profit picks up the frag, bringing it down to a 3v2. Instinct here peeks out as well, and my gosh, have the tables turned. 303 esports making this an even game now. C9 have to completely change their strategy for the rest of this round.
That's really unfortunate. They tried to tighten the noose around the neck of 303 esports early on to lose Poise so early and then have an individual swing out of the next player, the Sova. It's a snowball. It's the snowball that they had hoped for. It's the snowball we talked about. And now, because Academy is just so split up across the map, it's going to be a 2v1 no matter which site 303 decides to push forward into.
And we can see Nuke Profit actually opting towards A here. I think he's just going to rush over to site, deciding to dash onto site. He sees Glyph, and he's going to have to get the frag on him. He does, and now that's bringing it to a 1v2, and it is all down to Urka. He's going to come up heaven, and it doesn't look too good for him. He does have the Phantom and the 1 Cypher Cage, but that's about it. This is not looking too good, Ash.
All right, Urka goes ahead, takes out that turret. They get to push forward. They have a cage left, and they do implement it. They think someone's in hell, but the reality is it's a double up in tree. So when they take this swing and when they get exposed, the information is given away. It's going to be impossible to defuse the spike. Here comes the first swing. There doesn't even need to be a second. J-Sauls ends Urka, and that's going to be the first round on the board for 303 esports in a round that wasn't their business at all to win, Nico.
My gosh, yeah, we can see Renz here just pushing out and dealing so much damage. But 303, by the way, on a save, already down. I believe it was a 4v3 or a 4v2, and they came up winning it. 303 showing some teeth there as they pick up a very first round for themselves and now opting for a B push. But we can see here, C9, Poise, Renz, looking like they want to go on the aggressive, so we are going to see some early gunfights again. My goodness, Poise trying to deal 1 damage, trading it out and firing through the smoke. Actually going to get a third for himself as well. And now he's dashing in. He's going to take out the classic, and he was looking for the ace. But Lou ended that murder spree, and now down to a 1v3.
We got 2 stars left, but not a lot of space to work with. It's a first frag, but a second one does not follow. Instinct smells blood in the air and ends 303 esports' reign. They gave him 1 round. They did not want to give him a second, Nico.
My goodness, did you see, although these 2 rounds in a row, we're seeing some super early gunfights. I love this. The action is happening right away. My gosh, and maybe a different approach needs to be taken here by 303, potentially not rushing, just hard pushing aside and running into bullets, because for the last round, unfortunately, that didn't work for them. And we can see Spike isn't actually maybe committed to a site yet, and it definitely looks like some sort of a default or just playing it slow and seeing what's going to go on here.
Oh, J-Stalls gets spotted by Poise from that updraft, and so now they're going to have to be forced to back away as they get droned off of B main, and as that territory being taken, look, you can see it on the minimap how Poise is just not afraid to push up and just make havoc onto the 303 roster. Oh my god, Nico.
Oh my gosh. Poise now down, I believe, to 10 HP, but my gosh, was it worth it, doing so much damage. And now I believe this round is not looking good for 303, but we have seen them during this map that they have been able to come back, even though the situation looks quite dire for them. And with only 50 seconds left on the clock, I think 303 needs to start asking themselves, what do they want to do? There's not, C9 has not given them any room to operate. They don't have a lot of control right now, and they need to figure out what they're going to do. And it looks like they're going to go for a B main push here, Ash.
Yeah, they're walking on in. Instinct is alone, but Poise is posted upstairs. The issue is it's not a crossfire quite yet. Instinct may be good for 2 if they're not checked, but the flash does come through. The guiding light will blind him, but not for long enough. He gets to swing Lou after Renz is put down, turned into scrap metal. C9 Instinct landing the final kill of the round. It's going to be ending on Hawk, and we move forward to the 6th, I believe. Just look at that beautiful shot.
Poise is just insane. 12-3. Look at that KDA, my gosh. Absolutely insane with the Guardian as well. I'm absolutely loving Poise's performance in this first half. And now he's forced 303 to go on a save here. We see 5 Deagles. So I'm looking forward to seeing these Deagle Demons. And it does look like 303 is just going to go for somewhat of a B main push, but we can actually see C9 Poise taking a huge aggressive in tiles here. He still has the knives and the Phantom as well. What an aggressive dash from him, and C9 just pushing out and dealing the damage. Ash, what is going on?
Renz and Poise have just found their tempo, and 303 esports have fallen victim to it. They're just dancing along for the ride, and it's a signature of the double initiator defense, right? That they're able to get information so swiftly and then act on it. And of course, having such a cracked Jet player and a cracked KO player who aren't afraid to die, that really is the icing on the cake, that they can push out with this information and get into positions that 303 esports have never expected. And so it's just the element of surprise acting fully. Here comes C9 Poise again, the signature aggression out onto A main, but nothing happens of it. They just choose to retire.
And now 303 definitely taking it back here, taking a super slow approach. We can actually see 303's Nuke Prophet just almost in his spawn here, posted, waiting for somebody. But my gosh, as I was talking, so much action just went down. C9 getting 3 of their players taken out. And this is looking really awkward for them now. 303 full right to take this round for themselves, as they have a huge advantage and looking like they're gonna want to go up A here. And oh my gosh, Urka might get caught off here. 3 players about to swing him, and he's pushing up, and Nuke Prophet is gonna get a really nice shot on him. And now it's all down to Gilf in a, it's all down to Glyph, my apologies, in a 1v5 situation. Astra v Astra moment here. Who is gonna take that one? Lou's gonna take it, making it a flawless from 303. What a response from C9's past couple rounds.
Yeah, they're down, but they're not out. They're not willing to just lose this, right? This is a best of one. There's no play for next map. There's no work for the next map in the series. No, they need to win here and now if they want to move forward. It's a round robin phase. They need as many points as possible to make it into the main bracket. So they're not going to allow themselves to just slip and fall. The issue with that is they're not taking control of mid. Last round when they did control mid, it paid off. But again, they're just posted up outside B main, ready to fall victim to Cloud9's strategies once again.
And we can see again, Poise. I love this aggression from him. Look at how he's just pushing out here. The turret's shooting at him, but he doesn't care, and he's gonna go for the frag anyways. My goodness, what a play in the trade there. Actually working quite well. And now it's down to a 4v4. And we can see 303 looking like they want to push A main, maybe the catwalk area. Nuke Prophet does have that spike, and it does look like he is actually going to go for an A push here. And it's just Urka with all that Cypher utility set up. And I am looking forward to see what's going to happen. We can see the Owl Drone, Ash. Is Hawk actually going to... Oh, Hawk actually purposely gets the trip. I absolutely love that play. And the Astro Wall coming out as well. This is going to be a very intense post-plant situation, Ash.
The spike goes down. It's going to start ticking away in a few seconds. The door is broken. The wall, the Cosmic Divide, doesn't cover it. So now they can enter through as soon as it diminishes. And look at Nuke Prophet posted up here on Headshot Box. They're ready to try to move forward, but they get flashed, and so they cower away. They get posted up under hell. The camera is trying to stall for time and get some information, but 303 Esports is not waiting around. They want to push forward. The Poise posted up here, ready for the tree angle. No one's peeking them. Nuke Prophet's going to find this first kill. Poise a third for themselves with a shorty. But Greed is ready to swing, pick up the op for themselves on the attacking side. I wonder how they're going to implement it going forward into the 10th round when they've already won so seamlessly in the 9th with only rifles.
My gosh, 303 again showing their absolute skill in that post plant. And you know, a lot of post plant situations aren't usually 4-on-4s or 5-on-5s. It might be like a 2v3 or a 2v2, but we can see 303's ability to deal with so much havoc in that 4v4 post plant. It's definitely showing their skill and how they can keep up with C9's aggression. And we can see Nuke here trying to get a pick at Catwalk. Unfortunately, not going to be able to hit that shot as Glyph just does a little jump peek. And we can see 303 once again doing a much slower approach, but I don't think Sauls actually realizes that Poise is just in such a good position for himself. And now it's down to a 5v4, Ash.
Oh, Sova spot Sova, Spy versus Spy. He sees him, but doesn't tag him. C9 Instinct trying to find anybody. They're going to get a different droner. It's going to be the Sky. It's going to be Greed. Who's going to be pinged? Lou trying to clear out the market. And it's just information right now. 303 Esports has a much slower showing here in this round, which is exactly what they need. But here comes Poise closing the gaps. And if they don't turn around, they might fall victim.
Oh my gosh. I love Poise's push. Look at Poise's flank through this. Now down to a 3v1. And it's all down to Hawk. He does have the Vandal, 150 HP, but that's not looking good for him. And oh my gosh, I love Poise's. He just automatically pushed up through tiles. You know, he didn't see any action, but Poise's aggression is truly showing to be quite amazing in the first half here. Now to 18-5, and C9 are looking super strong.
And what's great about the 18-5 scoreline with Poise, it's not that he's just farming kills. He's not baiting any teammates. Poise is going in, showing their stuff, making impact frags that truly affect the course of the round. They're not lurking around trying to just get the leftovers. They're ready to move and take territory, and that's what you want to see out of Jet players.
My gosh, I could not have said it better myself. And now 303. Look at this here, quite a hard A hit, but the Killjoy lockdown as well. It's going to add that extra attacking pressure, looking like they have commit to this site. And it looks like they have it. Lou actually going to get a nice little pick there on the lurk. And now this is going to be a post-plant situation. Spike may go down quite soon, and Util is just being dumped. With Chilling in the Astro Smoke here, is going to be able to pick off 2 of them, actually. I believe it was actually 1. My apologies, his instinct took out Greed. But now it's down to a 1v2. Ash, I don't know how Lou's gonna pull this one off here. It's not looking too good for him.
He can get Instinct, which he does. He can get into another 1v1, and if he can win this one as well, it's going to be a complete Astra difference. And
oh my gosh,
through the wall, just sees his shoulder. Glyph, you're just a little bit too wide, buddy, and Lou is going to take him for a loop, and that's going to be 303 esports picking up another round.
My gosh, Lou. What an absolute clutch out of him. I was not expecting him to win that round. I'm going to be completely honest with you, Ash. My gosh, and Lou's clutch is going to actually send C9 on a bit of a weird buy here. We can see a Bucky coming out with the, oh, I believe the Jet Knives as well. And we can see some half shields. But my gosh, Ash, that was an amazing clutch from Lou. My goodness. And now 303 with that momentum. They are going to push out into B main and do a super fast rush, but Poise is not going to let that slide easily as he's already on the flank. And now 303, the guiding light's going to be coming out, and Renz, it's all down to him at this gun here, but C9 Poise shows his amazing skill with those jet knives, taking him down to 2 HP, but that does not matter. Oh my gosh, Ash.
It's a matter of taking territory on a side that you wouldn't expect it. They started on the defense and still pull through so many rounds where mid control is traditionally in the favor of the attackers, right? And so despite that advantage, understanding that 303 esports is not making use of that advantage, they just exploited it and took round after round after round. Now, that being said, 303 also has double initiator. They also have a key sentinel that can hold down a site, I would say even better than Cypher, right? With the nanoswarms and the alarm bot. If they can replicate the same type of aggression, they'll be a-okay, but it comes down to Nuke Profit and Greed, right? Can they replicate what Renz and Poise do?
I do think, you know, you need to sometimes adapt some plays from your opponents there, and taking inspiration from other initiators sometimes works very well. And it's just Poise here on A side, and he's tried to sell this one for himself as he is by himself there, dealing with 2 players all by himself, but Greed's going to take him out. Now down to a 5v3, as it looks like C9 is actually going to make their way onto B side here. We can see Cliff taking a bit of an aggressive stance through market, trying to see if he can potentially get anyone picked off. And he is going to hopefully get Hawk picked off. He does, but it's going to be instantly traded out by Lou. And now 2v4. We can see C9 Urka almost on no HP here. So it's going to be super, super hard for C9 to win. As you see all the util coming out as well. This is not looking good for C9. They are being completely pinched, and Nuke is going to take in a bit of an aggressive position here, making his way into Boathouse, and 303 clean up, winning the pistol round on defense.
And there it is, that beautiful hold with the signature agents meant to do it. They get to move forward with the Spectre buy, much like Cloud9 Academy did. The question lies in how their jet player, Nuke Profit, is going to buy. Are they going to be saving up for a 3rd round operator? And it looks like, as we look at the tab screen, it's not going to be so. They're spending everything on the Judge and Heavy Shields. And if they can be good for 2, maybe even 3, it'll have some payoff. But for now, it's not a future-oriented buy.
But Ash, look at this, look at this. C9's also going for a bit of a bias here. We can see the 3 Spectres, 1 Marshall coming out in the Sheriff here. C9 is gonna be attempting to take a 9th round for themselves. is they're going for a buy, even though they did not win the pistol round. And I love that, you know, it's that mentality and that aggression, that belief that they could truly win this round. And I love it. But it does look like C9 is going to be going through a bit of a hard push in market here as they're all bundled up. My goodness, Urka going to get a very nice shot with that Marshall. And now C9 looking like they're actually going to go through a push on Catwalk here, and it's all down to Lou to defend this with the Spectre. So much util is being thrown at him. The Shock Dart's going to go out as well, and a couple players are vulnerable. Lou down to 5 bullets, 28 HP. He's going to hit the reload and having to back off as he lets C9 take tree. Lou again in tree here. He's just trying to do damage, but it doesn't. Oh my gosh, he might be able to get the pick on Urka here. I don't think Urka expects him to be at this really weird angle. And now C9, they're going to be playing this amazing post-plant situation. And Urka, my gosh, what a shot. What a shot from him as he's picking up a third one for himself. And it's all down to Sauls.
Here we go. It's the 1 versus 4 situation. And despite having, you know, a little bit of extra armor, it gets chipped away instantly. They have to give away info by breaking the glass. Do flick onto Instinct's head, but Renz is going to be the one to end it all. And that's a round that C9 Academy wins. Because they got the spike down in round 1, they're able to force into round 2. And this propels them into an amazing round 3 because 303 esports can't buy. It's not on the table for them. It's not an option.
I think a full save is definitely going to come out from 303 here. Maybe giving C9 a 10th round. But, you know, Ash, I do want to say, you know, we've seen 303 win some pretty unspeakable rounds during this map on Ascent. So they potentially have a chance. We can see with the Classics just run in and abuse that right click on B. And it's all up to C9's Killjoy here to defend this site with the shorty. And we could see Sauls is actually going to be letting a couple people pour onto site here. They haven't spotted him out yet, and the plant's actually going to go down, and Sauls is going to pick off Urka with the shorty, and now it's down to a post-plant situation. C9 is going to have to pull off a very, very strong post-plant.
Which is difficult for them because both initiators on the side of 303 esports are alive, right? The guiding lights and the recon bull are both available. The drone comes through to give free information. The shock darts are going to zone out spaces to make C9 Academy feel threatened, but Poise is just going to jump spam with the Bucky.
Oh my gosh! Ash, he's just spamming with that thing. He's actually going to pick off a third one as well. Oh my gosh, that is the most OP strat that I have seen in Valorant. I don't even think he's going to pick up the Ares. He likes the Bucky, Ash. He likes the Bucky.
This guy, who let this guy on the Academy team? Who put this guy... What is he doing here with 3K against 303 esports? You know, granted they were on a save, but that angle should never be viable. And Poise, he just forces it. He makes it happen.
Oh my gosh. Poise truly showing what the best of the best looks like here. And now Hawk's actually going to fire out a shock dart right away, trying to see if he can do any sort of chip damage. Now we can see C9, actually, Spike is going through Catwalk here. Not sure exactly where C9 is going to commit as of right now, as it looks like they're trying to show presence in a lot of different spaces. And Poise also with the Bladestorm. And Ash, we have seen Poise do some amazing things with the Bladestorm here. So I'm looking forward to see if he makes his way on site, what is going to go down. And Ash, the Spike is in mid. I'm not sure exactly what C9 wants to, which site they want to go to.
Well, it looks like 303 felt pressured at A. They realized that there's a really good crossfire, and so they're going to move over to the B site. Nuke Prophet almost lines up the kills, but unfortunately it doesn't happen for him. Greed is able to find one in their place. But again, it's the advantage of Cloud9 Academy. Glyph is going to find one player on the A site, but not the second. The Astrodiff is coming out for 303 esports. Unfortunately, the rest of the team needs to pick it up to really change the course of this match. And soon we see them flooding out onto the A side. 303 Lou is able to counter 1, 2. It's going to be 3 total kills before Ren stops the bleeding. And so they're going to zone off with this fragment to be able to buy time for the plants. And they get to just move for free.
Oh my gosh, this is a really tricky situation here. 10 seconds left to go. Renz is down to 49 HP, and this is not looking good. Greed, I believe, has full health, and Renz is going to have to play this really weird. He doesn't have any util to work with, and Greed, oh my gosh, he's going to flicker over to his head, spamming through. Renz has 6 HP, but Greed's going to take it with 5 HP. Oh my gosh, Ash. Lou did everything he could to defend A-Site, but unfortunately it just wasn't it was enough. It was enough as Greed came up huge and won that 1v1 situation.
They get a 6th round on the board. They're slowly but surely inching their way forwards, but definitely the MVP of that round, despite the clutch out of Greed, it's Lou for picking up 3, stopping Glyph, and then the onslaught of the other 2 from C9 Academy to hold down the A site and allow it to become a 1v1. That is really the key play there. Renz had a good angle. They had played the 1v1 really well, but at the end of the day, bullets go through wooden surfaces in just the most odd angles, and so 303 esports picks up that round as they hold against a 3-man push on the A side.
We can see Poise here actually going on the aggressive once again. I love this duelist energy of just rushing in, holding that W key, and it does look like C9 is going to commit here. We can see Renz actually going for the flash, but Lou coming up huge again, but Glyph is going to be trading that one out. It's now down to a 0v4 as 303 esports is going to pick up a 7th round. My gosh, C9 commit to that A site and they would not let go. And unfortunately, it did not work out for them.
So we see a 2nd round strung together. This is the first time we've seen 2 rounds in a row out of 303 esports since they were on the attacking side at the very end of that half. So they picked up momentum here. They could very easily make it a 3rd because the knives aren't available to Poise, right? The magic that we've seen him perform round to round isn't really going to be there. He's just locked on the Sheriff. 303 esports, this is their round to win, string things together, and really close the gap. But if they don't, they're going to be punished hard for it, Nico.
Yeah, this is not, 303 definitely, they're in full rights to win this round. We're going to have to see some Deagle Demon plays here out of C9 if they want to take this round for themselves. And, the Deagle against the Vandal, sometimes it just doesn't work. And we can see Urka already taking a bit of damage as he decides to back off. And once again, C9 making it clear that they want to push A. Poise taking the aggressive right away, making sure to automatically take that space and pushing off 303. And C9 has actually taken the site for themselves in a post plan here. And this is going to be really tricky. Oh my gosh, Poise. This is too dirty of him as he picks off one with the Deagle. And the lockdown's actually going to be invested this round by 303 to definitely confirm it. But the lockdown's actually just going to be destroyed. And now this is looking really tricky, Ash. 303 is going to make their way on site. And it's just down to Greed. And C9 has potential to win themselves a save round here. But both players are so low. But oh my gosh. Ash, Poise, don't give him a Vandal. He's better with a Deagle.
That came down 100%. To superior utility usage, right? Poise is crazy for landing a kill on Heaven and then getting away. Sure, that's awesome. Instinct lands the lineup onto JSol's lockdown to make sure that they're not pushed off of the site, 1. And then 2, after isolating into a 1 versus 2, despite being low health, Renz throws an amazing flashbang and that forces Greed off the angle, leaves them exposed. They try to tuck and it just doesn't work out. That is utility superiority. We're going to see it again as Cloud9 pushes on to the B site, Nico.
Now we can see, yeah, Cloud9 just automatically taking that aggressive. Renz and Glyph coming in huge, getting 2 very early picks. And now 303 in a super tricky position. The Trailblazer here is actually just trying to spot something out, but it doesn't look like it's going to be worth its use here. Renz flashing through market, trying to see if he can get anyone. He is going to get in a bit of a weird interaction with Nuke here as soon as that smoke drops, but Renz is too dirty. My gosh, in 303, this is not looking good for them. Ash, Poise is once again going to take that aggressive with the Phantom, updrafting. Oh my gosh, the Guiding Light's going to come out here, but I don't know how much it's going to do. C9, you are dirty. My gosh, 12-7, Ash.
I'm just a little bit confused on what Hawk was doing. I see what they were going. I think they were trying to distract with the recon bolt, trying to get crosshairs dragged away from themselves, but they just get spotted. And it just doesn't work out for them. They can't really do anything. What they can do here is set off a timeout, one of two that they have. And so it's going to be a full minute. And now we get to discuss really what's going on between these two teams, Nico. And I think what's happening is that there's a lot of early picks going in the favor of Cloud9 as a result of a lot of early territory going in their favor. The same issue that we saw out of 303 esports on attack is happening on defense, and it's that they don't have mid control.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. C9 has proven that sometimes controlling territory will win you rounds. And I especially want to point out Poises, and I believe, I forgot his name, the other initiator for C9, it was the KO. I believe that was...
Renz.
Renz, thank you. Yeah, Renz, once again, both of these initiators pushing out, taking control, and proving that space is win. And my gosh, I especially Poise with his amazing just dash. He just dashes into tiles sometimes and does so much damage.
This is the last round. It's a little bit late for a timeout, but if they can just win their way through, somehow struggle and pick up an 8th round for themselves, they can at least take a little bit of a breather, but it has to be perfect play, right? Nuke Prophet just dashes out of mid to move into tiles, and that's free space, that's free info. They understand exactly where Cloud9 Academy is. And so we see 3 people stacked towards A by 303 esports. Poise doesn't care, moves right on in, dies, and then their teammates each get a kill too. And we've seen the numbers even up despite a huge disadvantage for 303. And as soon as I say it, 2 more players fall. Renz is absolutely nutty, like you said, Nico.
Oh my gosh, and now Saul's Spectre, 125 HP, and the Hunter's Fury is going to come out. Instinct's unfortunately not going to get the tag on Saul's, but it's up to the run and gun Spectre play, and unfortunately it's not going to pay out. Cloud9 Academy take ascent, winning this game 13 to, I believe, 7. My gosh, Ash. GG's to both teams.
It was... To say that 303 esports was the underdog would be a little bit offensive because they are a known team. They are reputable, but Cloud9 Academy just has something different about them. It's the positioning and the utility usage is just a little bit more coordinated. And those little differences make or break the game. So we see it 13-7 and Poise dropping a whopping 31 kills. And I believe 5 first bloods. They did work. They did their job and then some. 303 Lou falling right after with 21 kills of their own. They tried to lead the pack to victory.